So, our final video about feedback. And I'm going to start with some alarming facts about feedback. Two-thirds of undergraduates don't think feedback helps them identify the gaps in their knowledge and understanding. A quarter, 1 in 4 undergraduates don't see how feedback contributes to their learning. Half of undergraduates do not feel that feedback motivates them or encourages them. 9 out of 10, 90% of undergraduates don't get feedback as often as they would like, and somewhere between a quarter and 2/3 of undergraduates do not understand the feedback that they get. This is alarming because feedback really matters. Whether it's the written feedback you get after you've submitted an essay, a lecturer answering a question in class, a discussion among students about a topic or an assignment, all of these elements of feedback are crucial in improving your performance. Now, those alarming facts I gave you tells us that frequently something goes wrong with feedback and it doesn't work in the way that it should. So some of that is down to us, academics. We're not always great at giving feedback, and the university has made it the priority in learning and teaching, so you can expect improvement. Some of it, though, is down to you. Too many students see feedback as a passive experience. It's something that you are spectators in rather than participants in. You hand in your work, you get it back, you look at the mark, you maybe look at the written feedback and the comments, and that's it. Nothing else happens. Alternatively, you simply don't know when feedback is happening. Your focus is too narrow, and more often than not, your focus is just going to be on written feedback on assignments. Now, as we said earlier, feedback happens all the time. We just need to become better at picking up on the signals. But feedback is only useful if we get it, if we understand it, and then, and most importantly of all, if we do something with it. So how do you do something with it? Let's recap first of all on some basic principles. Firstly, learning is your responsibility. It's not mine, it's not Lindy's, it's not anyone's but yours. We only put one name on a degree certificate, and that's your name. Second, what this means then is that we're not in a joint venture. There isn't a shared outcome. There isn't something happening where we all get equal credit. You're engaged in an individual learning experience where if it all goes well, you get all the credit, but if it goes badly, you're going to get most of the blame. Finally, no one can and no one will do the learning for you. We can help, but you need to do all the heavy lifting. You need to do the hard work. We can give you feedback, but only you can act on it. So, think about what it is that you do when you get feedback, and think about if you are just a passive spectator, and if you are, then you need to get off your backside and do something. Here's a few suggestions. If you know someone who has a better mark than you, ask to see their work. Compare it to your own. Ask yourself honestly, what did they do better than you? Ask yourself what you did worse than them. Always make sure you look very closely at marking schemes and work out yourself when you get your work back why you didn't get good marks for one thing, why you may have got bad marks for another, but also work out where you did well in things. Create action plans. For every assignment you do, reflect on what you did well and what you did badly, and then create an action plan for what you'll do next time. Get your friends to comment on it. See if you can show it to a module tutor or your personal tutor. When students take this kind of responsibility, academic staff are always more willing to help them. Every few months, reflect on how you are progressing overall. Are your marks improving? Are you getting the same kind of feedback on different kinds of assignments? Are any issues starting to become apparent? And if they are, what are you going to do about them? Remember, it's called higher education for a reason. It's meant to be tough, and it's meant to be challenging, and it's meant to be difficult. And the biggest part of all that is that it's now all down to you. So if you are, you need to stop being a spectator and you need to start being a player.